I am Petka, and this is Hodge. Like Dan said, we realize that we're the only thing that's standing between you guys and lunch right now, so we'll try to make this as quickly as possible. And we're going to be covering website and online strategies and successes, and I hope you guys enjoy. So the big question, why should you build a website? Well, if you don't have a presence on the web, it's like not being listed in the phone book. And as it was kind of covered earlier, that statement definitely speaks volumes, and we're going to talk about that a little more in depth.
We tried to come up with the top 6 reasons why we built the website and why we continue to make it better over time. These are the 6 that we came up with. Number 1 is save time, create information at your fingertips, increase exposure, enhance your image, interact with customers, and increase sales, ultimately.
Okay, so as far as save time, that's one of the big reasons of having the website that might get overlooked. For our business, we build high horsepower drag race engines. We get tons of inquiries every day, and I'm one of the guys that's responsible for giving those quotes. So one of the things that we did to save a lot of time with the website is we actually have a form that allows the customer to go on there, fill out all the information, and they basically can say what kind of quote they're looking for, short block, long block, do they have any parts, are they supplying any parts, a dart block with a Bryant crank and Jessel lifters and yada yada. They kind of be able to list all the information, because what happens is when people call up, they say, how much is an engine, how much is a rebuild? And that's not a very easy thing to answer without knowing a lot of information. So what happens is you end up sending 5, 6 emails back and forth, getting all this information. And this form that we built is very detailed. And usually when I get one of those, I usually don't have to ask any questions to further give the quote. And if so, it's just 1 or 2. It's very detailed. What bore size is the block? What bore size are the pistons you're going to be using? So you need to know how much machine work is involved. And it gets much more detailed from there. What size are your lifters? So if you know that the block needs to be bored for bigger lifters based off the horsepower that they want, which is also asked on the form. So this little detail, I searched all over just to be kind of curious what other people in the industry were doing before I built it, and I didn't see anyone utilizing this. And personally, this probably saves me 2 hours a day in doing quotes. I can come in the next morning, have 10 quotes to do, and all the information is there in front of me. Don't need to make any further contact. I can just do the quote and send it out. So, I mean, it can be used in other industries to kind of utilize that same strategy, but it's definitely helped us a lot. We also have a electronic catalog that we can share as a reference to our customers for all the parts that we have. This catalog basically breaks down in categories what kind of parts that we carry and allows the customers to see what parts we're talking about. So, because most of the phone calls, people have already been to the website, and they're on there checking it out, and we're able to say, hey, this is the type of turbo I'm talking about. For that kind of power you're trying to make, you can click right here, and then they can look at it, and we're all on the same page. We also break out some product detail and further information, but we'll cover that in another slide. So like I said, many questions are answered without a call or an email, and the great thing about it is orders can be placed online. Come in, next thing you know, you've got all these orders sitting in your email, and all you got to do is ship out the product. It makes it a lot easier. People know exactly what they want sometimes, and you don't have to spend that extra time with them.
Information at your fingertips. What we mean by this is you're pretty much giving all the information, you're informing your customers or potential customers on every little aspect of your business. And the website's a great way to do that. A couple of things that you can inform them about are what sets you apart from the competition. One way that we did this on our site is we created a page called Why Choose Proline Racing, and it talks about, it explains our successes of our customers, of our shop, and it really goes in depth on there, and it kind of builds confidence in the customer. This is where a small business can really sell themselves to the customer. You can, assure them, give them a reason why to choose you over the many other companies that are out there. Regardless of your business, you should be able to know what sets you apart. and the website's a great place to do that. The next one was services offered. It's nice for when a customer goes on your site. A lot of times they don't know everything that you offer, that your company offers, and it's a great opportunity for you to let your customers know. You know, we fix blocks. A lot of people don't know we fix engine blocks.
Yeah, if aluminum block or something gets windowed, you know, I'm sure most of you all are familiar with that term. The process of fixing it is very difficult, and we end up doing a lot of them for other shops too, because it's a very specialized process. So we actually have pictures of the entire process of when the block has an enormous hole in the side of it from kicking a rod to when it's finished, when it leaves our shop. And you know, if everything else wasn't a different you know, look to the block itself from where it is repaired, you would never know where the repair was. It's, you know, a phenomenal job, and we're able to just show that throughout some pictures on the website.
It's also a good place to showcase your work and show the quality that you offer. Product information, he kind of touched on it earlier. We have our online store where customers can not only look up parts, or we can share links to those parts so that they can see what we're offering, but they can also purchase them there. We go a little bit further. You know, we don't put every product that we sell, because we, just like many other companies, you have a bunch of different vendors, and they have, you know, hundreds and thousands of parts. And if you were going to display each and every one, it's very time consuming, and it takes a lot of time to update pricing, and it kind of causes a lot of work for you to do. But if you can show the products that you sell a lot of, that we use on a day-to-day basis, it's a great place to do it. And then another way to show that you do offer those parts that you're not listing is to create like a vendor line card, which is where you can show each brand that you carry. And so when a customer says, well, you know, I'm looking for this specific product, I don't see it on your website, they might find it in there and say, oh, well, you know, you guys offer this, I was looking for this, and now I realize you're a dealer for it. We also, for product information, we also include all of our engines on our website.
Yeah, we go into depth. A lot of the people who contact us, like I said, we build high horsepower, mostly twin turbo drag race engines, make 3,500 horsepower, and we just finished Troy Coughlin's NHRA Pro Mod, who actually just won the championship this year. And a lot of people want to know what stuff like that costs. Well, it's not really a secret for us, and it lets people be informed almost immediately, like, you know, hey, is this feasible, and what does this really cost? And we don't, you know, we want to inform the customer before, you know, they go on thinking, okay, do I want to go turbo this season, or can I really afford it? So, you know, we have engines on our website, and they range from $20,000 to $70,000, and that's just for like an intake to oil pan engine. And the kind of details that we give is, you know, what's the component level parts that are included in this engine? You know, what brand block are you using? What brand pistons, rods, lifters, you know, cylinder heads, valve train. We go into all that, but we don't give the details. Obviously, there's no camshaft specs. It doesn't say what size lifters. You know, it's the parts you need to, you know, be rated for this amount of horsepower. And by doing that, you know, people are, okay, I know these brands. This is a well-built engine, and obviously it works because it's used in so-and-so's car. And underneath that, we might even have videos of customers who use that engine. You know, just little things you can do to, you know, build confidence in the customer to make that purchase without giving away everything. You don't want to create, you know, a blueprint for another engine builder, like, I don't want to use Proline, but you know, I got this local guy I want to use. Here, build this engine. Not really going to be able to do that because we don't go into that much detail, but it still answers all the questions, like what does this engine cost for this kind of horsepower? And it saves, you know, both people a lot of time in the end.
You can also inform your customers about news updates, and it doesn't just have to be, you know, a lot of our updates include, you know, race updates, who won this weekend or who qualified #1, but it can be a lot more than that. It can be new products that your vendors are selling. It can be just small things that go on around the shop, things that we take for granted that our customers may find interesting or something that they might like to share, because a lot of times I mean, a lot of you are in this industry. When you're around it all day, you kind of get desensitized to how cool it is, and I think it's a great way to share that with your customers and keep them up to date.
It doesn't have to be, you know, NHRA Pro Mod information. We build street engines too, so here's a 700 horsepower modular engine that the guy ran 960s in the quarter mile or whatever, or maybe he didn't run that fast. Maybe he just went 1150s, or it's just a really fun street car. Well, that relates to so many more people, and it helps expand your customer base. And they also enjoy seeing the updates, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But it could be anything. I mean, you can have news about new products being offered. You got a new piece of equipment, you want to talk about it. Just any sort of news update. It doesn't have to be, this person won this race or this person #1 qualified. For us, I mean, we try to talk about everything, and it keeps people coming back to your website, and that's what's important.
And another great thing about writing your own news articles is that you can cater them to your business, and you can include your services and your products and your company name. You're constantly adding that to the news article. When we have a customer who goes out and runs a nice number, we tell them this is the engine that they're running. They're running this size turbo. This is how fast they went. And we create a link to the engine right there. You can say, oh, okay, well, this is the engine. They click on it, they see how much it is. And if sometimes we get customers who say, I want that exact engine. That's a nice thing. You can inform customers by including the frequently asked questions section to your website. It'll also kind of go into the thing, or the save time part that Matt was talking about. It puts a lot of the questions, the everyday questions that we get on a day-to-day basis, it gets them out there and answers them. So it may reduce the amount of calls and emails and time that you'll spend on that. And of course, contact information. A lot of people will go to your website just to find out where you're located, what's your phone number, an email address. We have a contact form on our website where you can ask us just any question. We get questions all the time, just simple questions about quotes, prices, whatever.
And it's important to have a form too, rather than just listing your email address. If you just list your email address as a text, it's going to be picked up by spam bots. You're going to want to create another email address probably in the end. If you have a form, it's going to be delivered to whatever email that form is set to, and it's going to be a whole lot better. If you choose to put your email address, do it in a picture, it becomes a little harder for spam bots to pick up, but your website, whoever decides to actually build your website should know these things, but it's just good things to know going forward. Increased exposure. Having a website can certainly increase your exposure. One of the key things is it's easy to be found. Just recently, we were trying to find a vendor who makes a particular part for an engine. It's kind of a custom piece, and I knew the name of the company, but he didn't have a website. I couldn't find it. I mean, here's an engine builder who can't find somebody who makes a part. It's an unusual situation, but it all goes back to it's one of the key things you should have. How did I end up finding them? I ended up searching on Google and came across somebody mentioning it in a message form, and they didn't have the number in that message form, so then I had to search the entire message form for somebody else mentioning it with some contact information. Ended up taking 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and if he would have had a website, organically his search would have come up right away. It's kind of hard to believe. It makes you wonder how many other people take the time to find that, or do they just say, well, so-and-so also makes that product, we'll just go with them. So it's definitely easy to be found. Going back to the whole phone book thing. People don't pick up phone books the other day. I mean, I had one delivered to my doorstep the other day, and I put it in the recycling bin. You just don't use them. Generate sales inquiries. Having a website can certainly do that by phone and email. Ultimately, bringing you more customers. Domestic and international outreach. When I started, which was a year into the business, it was 2006, we had one customer in Canada, and that was it as far as international outreach. Most of the stuff was U.S., primarily East Coast, and local to us as well, some. As of today, we have customers in Australia, Kuwait, Dubai, Sweden, Brazil, Dominican Republic, Bahamas, just to name a few. By having the website, it doesn't close. It's open 24/7. Customers in Australia, they have 1 hour to talk to us while we're still open. But by having the website, they see our products all the time, and then if they have questions about it, they send me an email, and I'm able to answer it. it's been a huge business. I mean, we have some, we're fortunate enough to have some high clientele, and a lot of them said that they came through the website. They heard about us, and going with the news travels faster with an online presence. Something happens, someone wins a race or whatever. I mean, even, I don't know if anyone's familiar with Kevin Fiskus, but he holds the drag radial record for the quickest drag radial car. That's one of our customers. He set it at a really obscure track, and not very big, not really going to be heard right away. We made a post about it on our website. Within 20 minutes, other online magazines are linking our article to their website, and then it's on message forums. And the days of calling somebody up, hey, did you hear so-and-so went this fast on drag radials? They might tell 10 other people, but it gets put on an online presence and a forum that has 50,000, 100,000 people are seeing this link, and it all goes back to your website. I mean, that's the ultimate thing. You're bringing traffic to your website, and that's, you always want to have your website be the go-to place, so you have this news, so when people link to it, it's bringing people to your website. And while they're there, hey, so-and-so uses this engine. Well, I'm thinking about upgrading mine. If I can go that fast on drag radials, that's crazy. All the information's there. News travels faster. It couldn't be more true with having a website. So enhance your image. How does the website enhance your image? Well, for one, it's image and perception. What I mean by this is, so I built the original website, and then I built our latest website. People always perceive this as this enormous business. Sorry to break it to you, we're really not that big. But our name, our brand is huge. And a big part of that is the website. People visit our website, and they're blown away. They think we're this 100,000 square foot facility and have 80 employees. That's certainly not the case. And when I built that original website, we had 4 employees, and we were in a 6,500 square foot building in a bad industrial park. It wasn't nice. It wasn't the kind of customer that you would bring an NHRA, Troy Coughlin, one of the owners of Jegs, would come down and, spend $100,000 with you. It might look a little, deceiving, but not really misleading, but at the time it didn't matter. Our brand overcome that, so by having image and perception, do we take pictures of the outside of our shop at that time? Absolutely not. There was nothing to look at, but it didn't matter. And when we took pictures for the website, like, we want to keep people up to date with the builds we're doing, we would take pictures up close of the engine parts. You would never see a picture of the whole shop. I mean, we kept it nice and clean, but it doesn't compare to somebody with a 50,000 square foot building. Everything's, brand new equipment, anything like that. We weren't there. And you don't have to be. That's the whole thing. If you have a good-looking website, it doesn't matter what your facility looks like. By that time, the customer's dropping their engine off. They don't care. I mean, we had our customer from Canada, who was the first guy. He went to all the big-name guys beforehand. They treated him with coffee and donuts when they got there, and his facility was phenomenal. They were telling him all about it, a brand-new building. He ended up coming to our little, dinky shop, 6,500 square feet, just a few people there, and he's never left. He's bought 4 engines with us, and they're all 50 grand or more, not to mention all the turbo EFI, fuel, the complete fuel system. Our customer service did that, but the website is what brings people like that. So like I said, just you can do it the right way and the wrong way, and image and perception is huge. And customers love to share their stories, their successes with us, and we don't even have to ask for a testimonial. People are impressed by the service, and it's a great way to show everybody, how we did what kind of job did we do for that person. Hey, I went to Proline. I used to have a nitrous setup. They converted me over to turbo within 2 times at the racetrack. I've gone, half second faster. And you guys know, to go that fast, it's very difficult to do. It's not a small feat. But, they become a happier customer, and we love to share those testimonials. So, we have them available at our website, which helps bring other people there, too, because they can kind of have that same experience. And this quote right here couldn't be said any better. Products are made in the factory, but brands are created in the mind.
Another reason to build a website is to be able to interact with customers. You can do this through the website and through social media, and I'll get further into social media, and some people have already touched on it a good bit. Through our contact form, Facebook, and YouTube, we almost create little relationships with customers. When customers ask, you know, what parts are you using on this setup, or how fast did this person go? Small questions seem to create relationships with customers, answering little small questions that only take up a couple seconds of your day, because they can look at that and say, you know, I've been given support even though I haven't paid a cent. And, you know, I don't know, I feel like it would lead the customer to believe that, you know, you can offer them support when they are a customer. Another thing that's nice about interacting with customers is when they can take pride in sharing their projects, experiences, and achievements with a world audience. Since we have people in other countries and all across the world looking at our website, seeing what our customers are doing, it just kind of creates a buzz, you know. On our Facebook, we have, if you post something on there, I don't know how much the likes and people following you lead to sales, but when we post that somebody, you know, Kevin Fisk is one of 427 in Holly Springs, it immediately turned into this huge thing where, you know, like you said, magazines are picking it up and everybody's asking questions, and customers really they really like to see their name there. It's almost like treating them like rock stars. They really like it, and a lot of times they'll contact us and give us, you know, they'll just say, hey, I went this fast, we qualified number 2, you know, do you mind putting it on the website? And of course, you know, anything like that, we'd always want to share. And it also helps you feel closer to your customers, knowing what they're up to.
Okay, so in the end, you know, a website can certainly increase your sales. With all the elements that we've talked about are in place, that can, you know, ultimately happen. I can't really sit here and quote sales figures on what our website did to increase our sales, because there's way too many factors contributing to that. Customers winning races, setting records. You know, we have a personal shop car. That's an Outlaw 10.5 car, Tim Lynch. Some of you may be familiar with them. There's way too many factors, and the website itself, people aren't going to purchase a $70,000 engine off the website, you know, but they're going to call, you know, and they're going to ask more questions about it. And by having that information there, you know, it certainly leads to extra sales. You know, people follow our website all the time and keep up to date with what we do. And a website is just, you know, a small piece of the puzzle that can lead to increased sales.
For social media, we kind of sat down and thought about it, and, you know, for a small business that doesn't have a website, a Facebook page could be a really nice starting point for building a website, or at least a web presence. It's pretty simple to do it. It's free. It really doesn't take too much of a web savvy person to do it. You just go on and you follow the directions. It's pretty straightforward, and it automatically gets you out there so people can find you. If you do have a website though, and you don't have a Facebook or a Twitter or a YouTube or some way to share on social media, it's kind of, you're going to miss out on some potential entry points to the website. Like on our Facebook, we share a lot of links to the website. If I post an article about how somebody did this weekend, or a press release on some new products that we're selling, I immediately go on Facebook and I share it. And I go on Twitter and I share it. And if we have a new video from a customer at the track, or just a walk around of an engine in the shop, I share it on Facebook, it goes on YouTube, it goes on Twitter. Everything pushes the traffic back to our site, which is the goal. We want people to be on our site, we want them to look at our products, and we want them to call us up and spend money.
Embedded ads.
Yeah, another good thing about YouTube is you can embed your own ads in there. it may take somebody to give you a little help on it if you have somebody that can do video editing, but it's very easy. It just takes a simple image showing a product that you have and a call to action. Give us a call here at Proline. Here's our number. Here's our website. You can even put the web domain in the URL in the description for the video. So that's always a nice thing.
You could put a product in there too. You know, at the end of the video of a record-setting run, or even just a nice build that you want to share with a bunch of people. At the end, put an ad in there for a product that you sell. You know, you want an engine like this, or hey, guess these. We have like Davis bump boxes, which actually we helped develop, and it helps staging one of these turbo cars. Well, a lot of people, there's a lot of buzz about it, and you just put an ad at the end of the video. Hey, this car used the Davis bump box. You saw how it worked. Call us about it. We can not only can we sell you the product, we can teach you how it works, and sell you other stuff that has to do with it.
A few things to consider when building a website. Since we are in a niche market, our intention is not to be all things to all people. We're marketing to a specific customer base. I feel like that's pretty important to understand. Kind of like the image and perception thing, the quality of the site can reflect on the quality of the business. Many times I've gone to a website and their last update was in 2009, and it doesn't mean that that your business is struggling. It doesn't mean your business is low quality. It just kind of creates a bad image. So if you're going to do it, you do it right. Do it right the first time, and stay on it.
Nothing.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, nothing's set in stone when it goes on the website. It's a constant work in progress as you identify a need for something.
Right. And we just really wanted to emphasize that, because
that is for sure the #1 point to take away when doing a website.
And I'll say if I have a week where news is slow, or there's a lot of things going on in the shop and we're preoccupied, I can see it immediately the next week. If I post a bunch of things in 1 week, we get a huge amount of traffic to the site. We get simple things like apparel. We sell our T-shirts that we have made. We sell so many T-shirts, so many hats and stickers to people. We don't do anything. We just leave it on there. It's kind of nice, and you're building your brand as you do that. I think that's it. We'll take some questions.
Yep, go ahead.
Yes, on the comment you made about updating your website, one thing, if anybody has a website here, it's a good idea to update it on a regular basis, because what happens is the robots will go through, and if your website's not been updated for a while, you drop in a ranking there. So, I mean, you might be, maybe when you first built it, you might be up like maybe page 1, which that'd be great now, But then if you don't update it, don't keep it up to date, it'll just be dropped down like each time until you're way down the bottom of the list down there now.
Yeah.
And nobody goes past maybe about 3 or 4 pages of the list that that's what you're looking for something.
That's an excellent point.
That's a good point.
It really is.
Yes.
There's something really important that you brought up, and that's that Google is now using another factor for evaluating websites, and that's being an authority in your industry. And they're coming by a site every day, and they're looking for that type of information on a daily basis, something new every day, and they're evaluating these sites, yours, ours, for authority in our industry based on that type of news, and whether it's tech articles or whether it's race news or whatever, daily.
Yeah.
So it really has a major impact on how you're going to come up with the right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Yes.
What you're saying here, once again, I'm a perfect example of that. We do everything in Facebook, Twitter, all that here, except our website is controlled by the main office in South Africa. And to put it bluntly, it sucks. We get no traffic off the website. When we drive traffic to the website, they have to come back to us through, whatever.
Right.
Right.
All right? And that's where we're falling short. We're gonna have to, bring it in here, because everything integrates. That's the purpose of the internet.
That's
Yeah,
a great
absolutely.
thing, yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. It's like the dominoes you used to line up, knock one over, they all fall over. The social network marketing, email marketing, website, it's all tied in together, and you've got to coordinate it, and that is a daunting task.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
can
definitely
be,
is.
For sure. Yes.
How did you set up your checkout with your international customers and verifying their credit cards?
Well, as far as like an online order or just any order?
An online order and then setting up the shipping, when they order something internationally.
Well, it's a good question. Because we don't manufacture a lot of our parts, a lot of them are drop shipped, and it becomes kind of difficult. I'm sure a lot of you can attest, drop ship fees, if they're getting one part from one vendor, another part from another vendor, figuring out that freight for everything becomes extremely difficult. And something probably could be built out for it, but for me, there was a simpler solution to it. I actually have, after somebody submits an order online, it'll give them the total minus the freight, and it says that somebody will contact them with the total, including freight charges, and at that time we take the check out. So it's actually done over the phone. As far as the credit card verification goes, our system uses QuickBooks, so there's a matching there where they look at the address, look at the zip code and the CCV on the back of the credit card. So that's just kind of like a typical sale. But the international portion of it doesn't really become an issue at that point because we've already figured out the freight charges. That was the biggest task for us, and I found a simple solution for that, which works well. If you sold one product or you had several products line and that's all you sold, and you knew the weight of that box and the dimensions of the box for that one product, there'd be an easier solution there with the website. You can have it all automated and take credit cards, and you can use the proper shopping cart software and verification for the credit card to take care of that. But for us, since we don't manufacture our own, we do, but not a substantial amount of our own products, that was our fix for that.
Do you have something built into your shopping cart that'll say to the customer you'll contact them?
We do. After they submit an order, thank you for your order. You'll be contacted within 24 hours with the total, including shipping charges. At this time, we'll take these forms of payment to finish this transaction. I'm not sure exactly how it's worded. It was a while ago, but yeah, we do have that in place.
And you could try to do some research on different e-commerce options and see what might work best for that, because there's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, it costs money, but if you're doing a lot of international business and you want it to be out.
More contact from internationally.
Yeah.
Asking for our parts. So
Yeah.
okay, trying to figure it all out together.
And it's a service in itself, servicing those customers. We get in a lot of our business just providing that service, shipping internationally. There's a lot of companies that will not ship internationally, and they'll contact us, buy the part from us, retail, because we'll organize that for them. And it's a little bit, it can be a daunting task at first to learn the process, like tariff codes, and you have to have a pallet. If it's a lot of stuff, you have to have a pallet that's certified for going overseas. I think it has to be pressure treated lumber. But as soon as you figure all that stuff out, you gain a lot of customers from it because the word spreads. Hey, Proline got me all my parts, and then they tell their friends and so on and so on. So that's a service in itself that we offer that might be overlooked. Anybody else? Yes.
When you started designing your website, did you have code writing experience?
I did. Yeah, it's kind of, I guess I'm probably a little different than some of the others, but yeah, I started building websites, I don't know, at the beginning of high school maybe. I don't know, it just kind of came natural to me. So I did, but suggestion for somebody who doesn't is, I would say the number one thing, if the company can afford it, bring on a website person. If you want to keep it up to date, just like this gentleman said, it's a very difficult task to do. Having somebody there doesn't even have to be full-time, it could be part-time. Working on the website, it's a lot easier to convey your ideas with someone that's actually working there than sending emails back and forth to someone to tell them to do an update. And, even us, Bud, who maintains the website now, he's put to other tasks, He helps with shipping, he answers phones, he does online orders. He doesn't always do the website, but we want him primarily to work on the website. that's in a perfect world. You know, we can't afford him 100% to work on the website right now, so he does other tasks as well. And so that's kind of something that I would suggest. If you can't do that, you know, then there's several avenues out there. If you want to do a freelancer, you know, if it's a real small site, or you know, you work with a company like Trinet, who'll be presenting shortly, who can handle that for you. Either one.
Answer your question also, there are some programs you can buy, you know, where actually it's sort of like, websites, you just have a click and you build it for us, you know, and they're really easy to use, most of them, like, you know, so you might want to look into that, and usually they're far enough advanced where you actually add, like, you know, e-commerce to it and all that thing too, you know, but it's really a good way to go if you don't know how to code, when I'm on my site, I know how to code it too, like you,
Yep.
you know, but you can actually do that thing too, you know, and it's usually an easy way to do it also.
That's you. Yes.
Another thing, and I hope this is something that we address through the course of the day, is search engine optimization.
Mm-hmm.
You know, website, most beautiful website in the world, and yours looks really good.
Thank you.
It is just pretty pictures, and no one will ever see it, you know, unless you get it out there and give them a reason to see it.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't really touch on that too much because I know Lee earlier covered it with the Google, with the AdWords, and you know, there's several factors that go into that algorithm. I would love to know that algorithm, by the way, but it's kind of like the formula for Coca-Cola, and it's constantly evolving as well. But you know, if you do partner up with somebody and they build your website, that is a key factor in search engine optimization. There's way too many things that go involved. It's not one simple thing that does it. But yeah, ultimately that will definitely lead to higher search engine results.
And the developer tools that Lee talked about, that will walk you through it. I mean, we use that a lot. I mean, when we first started. So, are we ready for lunch? Yeah, we are. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.